amount of oscillations in the outermost wheel. So as electromagnetism starts to spiral inwards on each concentric wheel, as we move inwards, we can see an increase in the oscillations of the waves. One oscillation of a wave would represent 1 hertz, or 1 hertz in the formula of Max Planck. Energy is equal to the frequency of the oscillation of a wave. So we're seeing an increase in the oscillations of waves. Therefore, we should see an increase in energy, because as wave oscillates more times per second, we'll actually see energy increasing according to Planck's formula. We saw the same thing happening in the electromagnetic spectrum. The faster waves oscillated per second, the more energy they produced. We're going to learn how that energy is produced in a moment, but let's go another 6 counts on the galaxy clock. The 7th second. The 8th second. At the 8-second point, we're actually going almost 2 times the speed of light, according to my theory. We've touched the gravity force space and time line here, and in the same second we've crossed the speed of light twice. The distance that light travels per second is this distance, but we've gone through 2 of them in 1 second. So at this point in the galaxy clock, I detect that there's so much energy present that photons and mass are starting to accelerate beyond the speed of light. So here we've gone 2 times the speed of light. The 8th second. The 9th second, actually. Here we've touched the wheel and we've gone just a little bit past 2 times the speed of light. The 10th second. All the way to here, we've almost gone 2.5 times the speed of light on the 10th second in the innermost wheel. The 11th second. Three times the speed of light in the innermost wheel. And the 12th second. All the way to 12. So at this point, we can start to see the formation and the beginning of what looks like, at the 12 count position here, the spiral arm of a galaxy. We can actually see the beginnings of the creation of our own galaxy. Our own galaxy is created by this principle. By this theory, I'm actually showing what is actually happening in our galaxy, how energy is moving, and how creation is happening. The oscillations per second here are 1 oscillation per second here, and not even, if we reached here on the outermost wheel, we would be at 1/4 of an oscillation in the outermost wheel. So the theory is demonstrating that as electromagnetic energy, light, starts to spiral inwards on smaller and smaller orbits, we see an increase in the oscillations per second, and therefore an increase in energy. And as energy increases, it starts to affect particles, it starts to affect mass. Just as Dr. Earl Van Landingham said that 18 MeV protons could allow spacecraft to do 1/10 the speed of light, so as energy increases, as electromagnetic energy increases, as the oscillations increase, when mass comes in contact with that energy, it starts to accelerate. But again, Einstein's law prohibits that solid mass can go beyond light speed. But there's another phenomenon happening in the galaxy clock. As the frequency of energy increases, so does the frequency of mass. And as mass increases in frequency, in essence it becomes lighter. It becomes less and less mass. So actually we're taking Einstein's theory in reverse. He's actually correct. Mass cannot attain the speed of light. But if mass becomes less mass, in other words, as its frequency is raised, mass is reducing. Mass is becoming lighter and lighter and lighter. And if mass can become lighter and lighter and lighter as it attains higher frequency, then mass can actually accelerate towards the speed of light. And in a moment, we're going to build phase 2 on the galaxy clock. We're going to start from here and go another 12 points and see what happens next. So now we're going to look at phase 2 of the galaxy clock. We're going to see an even further increase in the oscillation of waves as we evolve in this clock. So we last left off at the 12 count position, and we had already broke the speed of light. The frequency of electromagnetism, or gravity, the gravity force space and time line, broke the speed of light. I never changed the speed of light on the electromagnetism moving in these spirals as we moved in. On each wheel, the speed of light remained a constant. We never changed the speed of light there. What started to happen is the power and the frequency of gravity, of electromagnetism represented by this line, started to get so powerful that as we got near the center of the clock and we got to the 12 count position, that force became so powerful and there was so much energy in it that it started to affect mass. And mass, therefore, as it came in contact with these greater charges of energy, started to accelerate. So now we're going to go another 12 counts up to 24 and see what happens. I've already drawn the first line, the 13 line, and we can see what's happening there. And it takes us all the way to this point. So our wave is growing, and it's also curving more. So the 14th second. Connecting all the lines at the 14th count on the galaxy clock. We come to the 14th count right here. The 15th second. All the way to the 15th position. The 16th second. Connecting each point on the galaxy clock on each wheel at the 16 count position. We're starting to see what's happening. The 17th count. Connecting each point on each wheel at the 17th count position. We come to here. The 18th count. Connecting each point on the 18th count position. And the 19th count. At this point here, we're at least 6 times the speed of light, because in the same second, while electromagnetism is following the speed of light on the waves, the electromagnetic or gravity force space and time line in the same second is jumping from this point all the way to here. And that represents 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times the speed of light. So it's incredible what's starting to happen here. We're starting to see the acceleration of mass going far beyond the speed of light. And one of the things that happens as photons, as any mass in this high-frequency wave state starts to accelerate past the point of light, we're starting to see what's going to happen and what is representative of a black hole in the center of our galaxy. I'll explain that in a minute as we finish the clock. The 20th second. Connecting all the points. The 21st second. And the 22nd second.